The god Khnum was the husband of Nit. They lived together in the city Ta Senet. Sometimes, that is, for Nit was just one of Khnum's wives. At the island Abu, far south in Upper Egypt, Khnum had a wife named Satet. Satet was no slouch. As Ra's daughter, she was so fine an archer that she was the local hunting goddess. She helped Khnum in his task as guardian of the Nile's source in the underworld. She helped so much, some say she was the Nile guardian. And since the Nile's flooding ensured fertile soil for the next planting, and that planting and harvest in turn ensured human survival, Satet strutted proudly with ostrich plumes in her crown. She was as much a fertility goddess as Hutheru. Her daughter, Anuket, stayed at her side or took the form of a gazelle and raced south through beautiful Nubia, where she was a favored goddess. So Khnum had a satisfied and satisfying life in Abu. At the town Herware, Khnum had another wife, Heket. Often thousands of frogs gathered on the Nile banks to praise Heket, the frog goddess of creation. You see, Khnum was the great creator. The job was a natural for him, because he had the materials right at hand. After flooding, when the Nile waters receded, they left behind silts and marls, the basics of clay. Khnum invented the potter's wheel and formed humans from clay. Then Heket hopped in, as frogs will do. She breathed life into the little bodies and tucked them inside their mother's womb. She did this even to the children of the wicked pharaoh Khufu, who was building greater pyramids than anyone before him, but who showed little mercy to his people. Heket was merciful, though. Pregnant women knew Heket had helped to start the life within them, and they counted on her. They wore frog amulets to protect them through gestation, and near labor time, they begged Heket to start the work and assist in the delivery. In this way, she was like the goddess Nebethut. Again, Khnum had chosen well. This partner wife gave people breath so that Khnum's creation of them led to true life. And in the city Ta Senet, along with Nit, Khnum had two other wives, Menhit and Nebtu. Menhit was a lion-headed war goddess, close in aspect to angry Sekhmet, but she walked on two legs and radiated hot light. She gave off a white aura like marl pottery. Nebtu, in contrast, was the goddess of a nearby desert oasis, the watery counterpart to Menhit. She dressed in red, like silt pottery. It was as though Khnum had created these two wives from the same clay he used to create people. Being around them made him relish his accomplishments. So Khnum was pretty busy keeping all these wives happy. He declared himself the god of masculine fertility and called himself Min. He had a ram's strength and energy. He appeared as a ram, or as a man with a ram head or ram horns. Whatever his form, he was always ready to please his wives. Still, Nit was in many ways his most important wife. The two were almost male and female aspects of a single deity. Like Nit, Khnum was there at the very beginning, and, like Nit, Khnum was an aspect of many gods. Through work with Satet, he was a Nile god, like Usir. Through work with Heket, he was an air god, like Shu. And because he was a potter, he created life, like Ra. In fact, when Ra created all matter, many believed he did it in the form of Khnum. They spoke of Khnum Ra. Perhaps it was Khnum Ra who wept with joy that day long ago when his lost children Shu and Tefnut finally returned. Perhaps the teardrops of Khnum Ra mixed with clay to form those first humans. Maybe Khnum's story and Ra's story are one. Family and Home, from page 137. Families in ancient Egypt consisted of father, mother,